Hey, I'm Angel Rose.
And I'm Luna, and this is the Girls Room podcast.
On today's episode of The Girls Room, we are taking a deep dive into episode 12, Fairy Tales of Then and Now.
Ooh. Let's get into this.
Yeah, come along with us on this journey. Let's go. Question 1. Has cartoons like Cinderella or princesses like Cinderella, Princess Jasmine, Princess Fiona given false hope to young girls about falling in love with Prince Charming?
Ooh. The narrative that fairy tales have created I'm going to speak for myself here. I'm not going to speak for all of women, but the narrative that fairy tales created in my mind was definitely that I was going to meet someone for sure. I don't know if I always thought it was going to be like Prince Charming, like perfect person, like all that stuff. But I always believed that I was going to meet someone. And now look at me, I haven't met anyone yet. But um, does it create a false hope? Yes, 100%. Like I just said, I've spent majority of my life thinking, and I still believe that in a way. I still think I'm going to meet someone that's going to be like a freaking movie or a fairy tale or something, but. Yes, I do believe that cartoons definitely the cartoon princesses. I won't just blame the princesses, I'd also blame the princes.
Mm.
It's the whole narrative, the whole storyline. I really do think that it's not, even though it's a nice message, it's not a message of truth, and it's not a message that everyone has to or gets to experience. And when you believe it so much or it's pushed on you, especially back in the 90s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. It gets to you. Yeah.
I do agree. I think fairy tale cartoon princes and princesses, as just when it comes to narrative, is that they're telling us, oh, someday, little girls, you'll meet your Prince Charming and he'll draw his sword, you'll be on a white steed,
Yeah.
galloping off into the sunset with a massive castle with people who will cater to you hand and foot. And you'll have little princes and princesses and you'll live happily ever after in a kingdom.
Yeah.
I believe that, you know, that narrative needs to be scrapped
Yeah.
because I mean no offense to women or girls but who believe in this stuff, but I just think the narrative should be if you believe you're a princess, then you need to empower yourself to feel like a princess,
Yeah, exactly.
to enrich your vision of who you think you are as a princess and not this hooey about, oh, Prince Charming's going to come on a white horse on his white steed and draw his sword and say, here I am, my princess, and carries her off into the sunset. I think it really does hurt their
Yeah.
narrative because they want to sell the idea that it was easy for them to get Prince Charming when it wasn't. So, yeah, that's what I think.
That's actually a very good perspective on it. I mean, Prince Charming doesn't exist. No one's going to come knocking on our doors on a horse. It would be nice. All right, moving on to question 2. Angel, has the meaning of fairy tales changed as the millennials who were once influenced by their message grew older and could see past the lies into the truth?
Absolutely 100%. Um, I'm a millennial. I do see past it because I just think, again, we're looking into a deep dive into this narrative of, fairy tales do come true if you only believe. Um, I think they were heavily influenced because it's kind of like every cartoon prince and every cartoon princess is telling a story of, you too can, have a castle and people waiting on your hand and foot. Cinderella left a glass slipper. The prince ran around the whole city trying to fit one glass slipper till he found it.
Yeah.
Ariel married a princess. Tiana married a princess. Sleeping Beauty
You mean a prince?
met a prince. I mean, come on, people. How about empowering yourselves to better your lives? If you think your princess is great, fantastic, empower yourselves. But this narrative is not fact. It's not even reality. It's far from it.
Hmm.
It's like a sold idea of what every woman or what every little girl should attain to or should be or behave like. Sorry. It's not reality.
No, it's not. At the end of the day, it's not.
Sorry to burst you.
No. Yes, this is what we're here for, the hard-hitting truth. All right, for me, has the meaning of fairy tales changed as the millennials who were once influenced by their message grew older and could see past their lives to the truth? Of course it has. I'm a millennial. I'm now older. I can now see that the lies that Disney sold me is not what's happening in my life. Um, life is not just one perfect thing that happens. Life is meant to be ups and downs, and sad things happen, happy things happen here, back and forth. It's not like, in fairy tales you come from poorness and then all of a sudden you're marrying a millionaire prince somehow. How many princes are in the world? Metaphorically speaking, I think it sells a message of love in a way, that again is unrealistic. Love is not like that. Love, you've got to work on it. It's an everyday thing. You're with this person every day. You've got to have new things to talk about. You've got to bring new aspects into it. After 5 years, wouldn't you get tired of eating bread every day? At the end of the day, you've got to introduce new spreads onto that bread. So for the millennials who can see past this, yes, I do believe the meaning has changed for them. And I do believe that there's already a bunch of millennials that have children. We're still in that stage where we can have children. The generations that we have are going to be heavily influenced by realness, truth. We will tell them that it's fine to believe in these things and love them if you love them, but at the same time, we will introduce them to reality, because that's not something that our parents gave us. I don't think they really realized what we were watching. They just thought, oh, look, the kids are distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my answer.
I just want to add a little bit more to this is that
Mm.
in question time, I mean, take a look at Snow White. Come on. Snow White lives with 7 men. 7 men. Okay. Sleeping Beauty got woken up with a kiss of Prince Charming. Did she know he was kissing her to life? Absolutely not. I mean, Cinderella was a commoner, you know.
I think the message is that if they're good looking and they're rich, it doesn't matter what they do. They can sneak in through your bedroom window. You can go and live with 7 men. You can you can run away from home, at the end of the day. These are not the greatest messages to sell to kids who are easily influenced.
Yeah. I mean, I think cartoon princess and princess, as you said, it doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen like this. It's hard work when you're with somebody, and it takes real push and try, and it's not sealed with a kiss and off into the sunset. I mean, it's not even educational, if you ask. But that's just what I wanted to add to it. Question 3. What does that mean to the next generation?
Oh, I just kind of touched base there a little bit. As I said, that the generation that we raise, which is the next generation, I definitely think they're going to be very independent thinkers, number one. I also think they're going to be a bit too truthful for society, if that makes sense. They might have a wokeness about them, and they might be those type of people where when they see the truth and they obsess over it, they try and force others to believe in their truth. Like, at the end of the day, all possibilities. I don't know if the media, how it influenced our generation, is going to have the same impact it does on them, because we're privy to it. I mean, for me, the second I have children, the internet, I know what they're doing on the internet. I know what they're doing. You know why I know what they're doing? Because I grew up with the internet. I know what I was doing. I know what all my friends were doing. At the end of the day, so there's a whole bunch of safety things now, to help these families out, parental controls and having access to their devices at all time. What this means for them, again, I feel like they're going to be a bit rebellious, a bit independent, overly independent. I feel like they're going to, in their youthful days, want to believe in these messages, but then the parents are going to be like, well, that's not reality. A man's not just going to come through your window and kiss you. That's not how things work.
Well,
That might burst their bubble a little bit. I mean, we never had someone when we were children, we didn't have, our parents weren't hovering over us going, oh, this man isn't real, or this doesn't happen like this. They just let us believe it. And eventually we grew out of it, I think. But I don't know if the next generation is going to get that opportunity. And I don't actually know how that's going to impact them. I believe that all generations have some sort of trauma in regards to what they feel they missed out on. At the same time, these things were implemented to keep them safe and keep them privy and smart and understanding. We live in a world now where technology has taken over completely. It is the thing. It used to be like, you come home after work and you'd log on, or you're after school or whatever, and you'd go on for a couple of hours and then you turn it off, go and watch the telly and go to bed. Now it follows you around every second, every day, every year, every friggin' millions of thousands of years. This is going to keep following us around. And yeah, the next generation is going to miss out on an aspect of imagination, if that makes sense. I think not in the, I don't know how it's going to impact them. Like I said, I don't know what the consequences will be, but I do know that it's for safeguarding at the end of the day. But yeah, that's my answer. What's your answer, Angel?
I think the next gen, their parents as little girls, they're gonna have to sit with their little girls and say, honey, these stories, I hope you know, aren't real. They're fictional.
Yeah.
Um, and Prince Charming, he's a fictional character. Doesn't mean you'll find the one you'll love and want to marry and stay with for the rest of your life. I think the next generation's parents should sit down with them and explain the differences between fiction and reality. What's fiction? What's true? What's fake? What's real? I mean, as he said, you know, we don't have Prince Charming, like take Rapunzel. She let down her hair and Prince Charming came up and, you know, rescued her. Princess Fiona, the ogre, went to the tower and rescued her. I mean, we don't have Prince Charming climbing up our windows or our balconies, or, I'm here to save you and rescue you. You're my princess and you shall be my queen. I think there really needs to be an education where the next generation are going to have to, learn.
It doesn't even happen that way in relationships. I mean, the way that they explain it, even a relationship in real life, it's not like you catch each other's eye and then all of a sudden it's like a movie and you flutter to each other and dance together. It's awkward, it's weird, it makes you feel butterflies in your stomach. You don't know if that other person even likes you. There's so many factors to it. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But I was saying that the next generation, their parents, will have to sit down and really educate them and tell them what's real and what's not. Because if you don't do it from now, those little girls are going to grow up thinking, my Prince Charming will come any minute. My Prince Charming, they'll be out in the nightclub and they meet a guy, and they're like, he's Prince Charming.
Yeah.
And they're
And
hard.
you know what, actually, that actually leads to entrapment in the mind, because then you get so like a regular thought that, oh, I've got to find a guy, or a guy's going to show up at any moment and rescue me in a way, or talk to me or greet me or something. And then you get obsessed with it so much that when it doesn't happen for some people, it actually depresses them. because it doesn't naturally happen that way. It's definitely true. I'll say that. That's insane that the influence of what a cartoon can have over a whole generation. All right, shall we move on to the next question? All right, Angel. Do the Disney princesses influence the fashion of the time?
Absolutely. I mean, take a look at their dresses. Their dresses are ball gownish, they're very wedding-like. Each dress has a different color. One's a mermaid dress, one's a big poofy dress, you know, one's a simple, dress. It really does show the statement that it's very wedding orientated because
Yeah.
it puts in the minds of the little girls that if you wear this dress, you are bound to get married. This is going to be what your wedding dress may look like, or how you can create your own vision of your princess wedding dress.
Like a big gown.
Yeah. So do they influence it? Absolutely. Because even women who go into bridal salons always ask, and I'm guilty of being one of them, always asks for the big poofy wedding dress because you want the dress to symbolize that you are about to, you know, marry Prince Charming.
Yeah.
And I think they really shouldn't do that. It's just I think the only one who didn't have a dress was Ariel because Ariel was half human, half fish.
Mm.
Um,
No, she still had a dress on the ship.
yeah, she still had a dress.
I think it was like a pink frock, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. But again, a big gown.
Hmm. So do I think they influence the fashion of the time? Absolutely. It's very wedding orientated, and that's not okay. I just think they need to calm it down in that sense, like, not push it in the little girls' agenda or their minds or women's minds that, you know, our fashion is your wedding dress.
Yeah.
You can emulate us and be us, which is a bit strange looking at it. That's what I think.
Yep. I'll add to that. I agree with everything that you said. It is very. I just realized how much it. They even focus on, like, in the movie. There's always some sort of big party where it requires her to get ready and do the makeup and the hair pretty and the dress, and it's like got to be all perfect. And I agree with that 100%. The Disney princesses have a certain hold on girls, let's say from, like, you start watching even when you're 0, your parents probably put it on the background, let's not lie, 0 to, let's say, 10, 11. And then at a 10, 11, you'll start getting interested in, like, girl groups or, like, Spice Girl stuff like that. But you'll still be kind of interested in them. But again, during that time frame, I do believe there is a big, for the girls that enjoy the princess part of cartoons, I do see that, even costumes for little kids, they're making high heels plastic. I know I love them as a kid too, but why would a little kid need heels? Like, you know, they need to have something more fun than that. I don't know. It's too grown up, because then when you grow up, you can also buy heels. Why are they preparing these little girls for things that you are going to be interested in when you're older? Get them interested in it. If you're going to market anything, get them interested in it when they're 15 to 18, slowly. Not at 8 years old, not at 7 years old. They don't need high heels. They don't need makeup. They don't need big poofy dresses. They need to go outside and have fun and breathe the air and stuff. So yes, they do have a hold on it, and parents very reluctant to explain to a child, like, again, this is a big difference. I think we're going to see in the next generations. They're very reluctant to explain, like, why high heels aren't the best thing or whatever it is. At the end of the day, if a kid's going to play with high heels, let them go and play with their mum's size 7, size 8 high heels. That's a natural curiosity. Don't go and buy them high heels and then makeup, and then by 8 or 9 years old, they're actually going into Sephora and buying makeup. They're buying wrinkle creams, and this is what the influence of the Disney princesses do. These Disney princesses are so made up. Number one, my biggest concern, okay, this is what I want to know. Why are they always marketing teenagers? Let's say the Disney princesses are like, most of them are getting married, so I'm going to say at least say 18, okay? We all know that's not the truth, though. They're probably going to be like 15, 16, 17, right?
why are they always marketing it like to children? Why, if I'm going to market something to children, shouldn't it be in like another child, not an adult? It's so weird to me now that I get older and I think about it. I'm like, why are they showing an 8-year-old marriage? Like, why? That's not something an 8-year-old thinks about. That's not even something they, when you see the opposite sex, you go, ooh, when you're a kid.
Mm.
Do the Disney princess influence the fashion? So yes, I do think that they influence fashion, and then in doing so, they also influence the culture, which is incredibly, incredibly sad. But yeah, that I do believe in that as well. Yes.
And you touched on plastic heels, which are cute, but don't forget the handbags that come with it,
Oh, I
the
don't.
fake makeup
The
set,
fake
the fake
makeup. What is
jewelry,
that about? Why?
the fake jewelry.
This is all something. Again, I'm going to say this is all something that they market to adult women, and they also somehow turn it into a child's toy. Again, I could say the same with like fake tools and stuff like that. Why does a kid want to, go and get them? I don't know. Anyway, that's this is it's I guess it's a personal opinion, but at the same time, I don't like how two step like it's like they've taken makeup, which is an adult thing, I believe, and they've given it to children to try and prepare them to. I don't know if it's a buying method. Get them interested when they're young in makeup, so when they're older, they spend thousands of dollars in Sephora.
Mm.
I don't know if it's that or if it's more sinister reasons, but I don't like it.
Don't forget, the fake tiaras, the ones in the dollar stores, those sort of imaginative things that you could put in a goodie bag or put the crown on your head and have the one go, yay, I'm a princess, I'm a princess, I'm a princess. I just think that um they have a lot of, and I mean that, a lot of influence.
Yeah, exactly.
And when you come, not just the princess, but the prince who's a royal, you learn about royalty at such a young age.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
like you learn about the queen, the son, the prince, his brother, the
Marriage.
best man, marriage into the royal family. And they make
You
it
learn
look,
about kissing.
yeah, but it's not that. It's you marry into the royal family and you live happily ever after when it's not entirely that, and that's the thing that annoys me is like marrying into the royal family, they make it look so perfect and dreamy,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it's not really.
And you know what, too? They could have just had a normal man and woman if they really wanted to do like a love story, right? Why did it have to be a queen and a king? Because that's not attainable for anyone. That's like one in a million, one in 20 million marries into a royal family. At the end of the day, they could have just used like, what's it to a child? A child's not going to go, why are they not a king and a queen, mum and dad? They wouldn't have said that. They would have still been interested in the story at the end of the anyway. That's a whole other hole that we have to dig down into one day.
Last question. What should the new set of Disney princesses and princes, sorry, encompass?
All right, I'm ready for this question. Let's do this. I believe that the new set of Disney princesses and princesses should be the age of the person or the people that it's being marketed to. The oldest that a Disney princess or prince should be is 12. I don't want to show my child a teenager going out into the world looking for love, waiting for a man to come to their door. What the heck? I'll show that to them when they're like, a bit older maybe. But when they're children, I don't want to give them that message. I also believe that um they shouldn't have a love narrative as the storyline. The storyline should be a best friend narrative. If you're going to have a narrative, make it like that they're searching for their best friend. They don't need to go out and search for it, and they don't need to kiss either. Not necessary. When they find their best friend, they go on an adventure, and then it doesn't even have to be scary. They go on an adventure, and they have the best time in La La Land or wherever they go to, and they have an adventure there, and it shows them as they enter La La Land, which is like their imaginary world or something, and then as the movie progresses, they just get older and the imaginary fades, but they still stay best friends. I think that's a great message to sell to a child. Loyalty, love, It also shows stability in relationships. Why does it have to be a romantic thing off the bat?
Mm.
Put the narrative into the children's minds, and maybe children on, you know, I'm going to say this, maybe gang related stuff will drop down. Maybe if people realize that there's other people in the world who also want to have an impact on their lives, not in a romantic way, and it's just there for them in a loyal friendship way. I mean, that means the world to a lot of people. And to have that continue on till you're 30, 40, 50, forever, let's say, that is going to mean the most to those people as they get older, which they don't realize. But yeah, I do believe that that they should be their age. They should encompass that message. I also believe that they need to stop doing, like, for instance, I know it's an old story, but like Princess and the Frog, stuff like that. No. Anything to do with a love narrative has to be gone. Anything, if it's got to do with like transformation, a hug. I don't want to see any type of kissing, any type of adult behavior in a movie that's marketed to children. I also don't want to see hyper materialism. I don't want to see a child that goes to La La Land and, you know, use a dad's credit card to buy 500 bags because she can, because that's not, again, not a good message. They need to start using these movies to send out a message of loyalty, kindness, hard work, motivation, empathy. What's another good one? Courage, confidence, stuff like that, that these kids can actually take into their teenage years and their adulthood and benefit them in a positive way is better than them using movies like, let's say, the Disney princesses, right? They use them so that children can get interested in makeup, handbags, dresses, shoes at a young age. Therefore, you start buying them at a young age, you start forking out money to these companies. It's all about the money at the end of the day. Stop marketing that to children and stop giving them addictions to things that they can't afford in real life. We are not rich. At the end of the day, a person who's, let's say, in the lower or middle class can probably afford things like rent, food, utilities, bills, stuff like that, internet, maybe some subscriptions, and then travel, maybe a car if you save up your money. But again, that takes effort. You've got to save the money up. You might go on a holiday. Again, it takes effort. You've got to save up. These movies, now, the old ones, they, you know, handbags, you can't go out and just buy a $300 handbag just because you want to. It's not how our society is. But yeah, what's your answer, Angel?
I think, please don't come at me, viewers, for this, but I've got to get this off my chest. I mean, I've never seen Frozen, but what bothers me is these little girls who dress up as Elsa, and now they're wanting to change the narrative that Elsa has a partner, and the girls sitting in the cinema, and they see that, and I think that's, like, I believe love is love, but I don't think it's appropriate at that age. I think teaching
I
them,
think what you're saying as well is that love shouldn't be the narrative of any Disney film.
I don't think little girls should be watching the opposite, well, the same sex in a cartoon, and it's being engraved in their mind. I don't think it's appropriate at that age. If that was my daughter, I'm sorry, she wouldn't be allowed to watch any Frozen movie. And I would tell my own daughter to what's fiction and what's reality, so I don't burst her bubble and hurt her feelings, so that my daughter can get an understanding of what her reality is. Allowing her to set her mind up for what she thinks is right and what she thinks is wrong. And I think Disney princes, can't say that right, princes and princesses should really say to girls, you are a princess. You have every right to empower yourself through girl power, through strength. You're strong and you're capable and you're able and you're beautiful and you're smart and you're intelligent, and you can do whatever you set your mind and heart to, you know. And it should empower girls and women to think that way. And as you said, it's not all about love. I think, as you
I
said,
just think there should be no love narrative. I don't care whether it's straight or homosexual. That does not matter to me. I don't want to shame any children that might feel whatever way. But at the same time, I don't believe that I would single out just one. Like I said, I would have to get rid of both, because both of them, marketing love to a child is just sickening to me. I don't see why an 8-year-old would be interested in marriage.
it is. And I think that I think every little girl who grows up to be a woman doesn't fantasize and goes, I'll find my Prince Charming and I'll live happily ever after and I will never have to work again. Wrong. It's not that way. Reality is you have a job, you make your own money, you live in your own place, you spend time with family, you have your friends who are around you. As you said, have a best friend or best friends who you have adventures with, memories with, have good fun with. And then down the line,
Yeah, maybe add someone, exactly. And that shouldn't be the focus of your life.
exactly.
You should also have a life away from that relationship that is always consistent, so that if, for instance, if that relationship would ever go away, you're not losing all your best friends, your whole family, you've got things set in stone that are for you and not,
Yeah.
I don't know, created because of that.
Like, even if you're single, save money, get on a plane, go overseas or get on a boat, have a cruise for like 3 to 6 months. Who knows? Like, enjoy the finer things in life before you choose that big ball gown dress and pretend you're a fairy tale princess. I mean, just empower yourself. You know, it's all about what you think up here, not what's in here, because if those two don't sync and align, then there's something wrong. You have to have them matching, because Prince Charming doesn't happen like that anymore. Not even ever happened, I don't think.
I don't believe it either.
You know, and I think they really should show how it's really it really does affect mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Like, I'm sure it's sad to say that many girls have thought, why hasn't Prince Charming come for me yet? Why hasn't he rescued me? Why am I still alone in the world? You know, it's because cartoons have, what's the word I'm looking for?
Manipulated your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Programming.
And,
Right?
and it's funny too that it was only the girls that it happened to, because there's not a whole bunch of guys that I can't say are not living in the modern times of technology and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do believe that it's mostly women that were affected by this subliminal messaging.
Yeah. I was going to say the programming that they put in our minds, it's kind of like a mental program of, this is how you're going to be, this is your life, enjoy it, Prince Charming, happily ever after. No. We've got to deprogram ourselves away from that thought and away from the notion. Sure, if we happen to meet someone down the line, great. But this isn't reality.
Exactly.
And it's not reality. It's not what's meant, it's not what we're meant to be taught. And we shouldn't
Yeah.
have to think like that.
That's all very, very, very true, Angel. If you'd like your say, please leave us a comment down below. We'd love to hear your opinions on these 5 questions. And yeah, Angel, do you want to add anything?
Don't forget to subscribe and like our video. Invite your friends to subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And we look forward to entertaining you soon. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Angel Rose.
And I'm Luna.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.